What is good, YouTube? Bodybuilding anchor here for my first video. Can Shaun Clarida win the Arnold Classic? In the last couple weeks, that has been the biggest talk in the bodybuilding community because he is coming from the 212 up to the Open for the first time. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this goes for him. In his most recent updates, you can see that at 5 weeks out from the show, Shaun has already peeled to the tits. He is, I think, by far going to bring the best conditioning to the show and pretty much blow everybody out of the water without a doubt. As you can see in Matt Jansen's most recent update with him, you can see his back is just out of this world, mind blowing. Shaun brings even at 5'1", Shaun has some of the best muscle bellies in the sport. Pretty much the overall condition is just on point all the time. There's pretty much no weaknesses in his physique. He's pretty much the mini Ronnie Coleman. Now, looking back here at the Olympia just back in December, I think that even though the shots are different, I think he may have improved his back quite a bit in the last month or so. So it's going to be interesting to see when you put Shaun up on stage against the mass monsters like Samsons, the Nicks, the Andrew Jacks, the Big Rammies, how he's going to look when you compare the two. Who are the eyes going to go to? In my mind, the eyes are going to go to the bigger guys. They're going to go to Shaun because he looks like a child in comparison to them. So is that going to take away from his physique? I really don't know because we haven't seen him stood next side to side with these guys before. The people he stood next to in his most recent shows like Olympia, they've been, relatively the same size. He's always a little bit smaller, but they're still within like the 5'6" to 5'9" height range, not like the 6 foot plus monsters like Samson, Andrew, and Big Rammy. So it's going to be interesting to see what gets on stage. I think that if the show was just judged based on the solo routines and not compared to each other side by side, I think that Shaun would have a really good shot at winning this just based on his physique solo and not in comparison to anybody else. But once you get him next to these bigger guys, it's really hard to say what's going to happen. In a most recent story update from Matt Jansen, the question was asked who Nick Walker's biggest competition was, and he said it was Shaun Clarida, which it's a good answer. He very well could be, but also Matt coached him, so obviously he's gonna pick that answer. But in my opinion, I don't think that Shaun is Nick's biggest competition. I think that Samson is, just because he fits the pretty much the Arnold mold. Arnold likes the bigger guys, so if Arnold has any persuasion on the judges, he's gonna veer them to the bigger guys, and Shaun's gonna get left in the dark more than likely. So I think that Shaun's probably gonna finish within the 4 to 6 place range, unfortunately. Even though he has probably one of the better physiques in the show, I just think that this show is steer more for the bigger guys, and when he gets compared on stage to them, it's just the eyes could go to the bigger guys, and he's just gonna look like a child essentially, and it's unfortunate. If Shaun was, say, 5'6", 5'7", even 5'5", he would probably win. He'd probably be the Mr. Olympia right now. But standing at 5'1" at stage weight of, I don't know, like 180 pounds, it's just really hard for him to compete with the open guys. I just don't see him being number 2 or even number 1. I think he's gonna go the 4th to 6th range. Speaking of Nick Walker, he most recently shared some updates today, actually. And looking at Nick's physique here, to me, it looks like his waist is a lot tighter. I don't know. Even prepping for the Olympia, I always thought that his waist looked a little bit blown out. So I don't know. Maybe he's trying to play the condition game because he thinks that Shaun is a threat and knows Shaun's going to bring the conditioning, so he's trying to up his game with the conditioning instead of bringing the mass. I always find it hard looking at Nick's updates just because he's so light skinned. It's just when you put him on stage with the tan, he looks much better. So I always take these updates with a grain of salt, but for me, I think Nick's waist is coming in very well, and he's just looking absolutely insane as always. And I think he is definitely the favorite to win this show. He was third in the Olympia, so I mean he's already beat all these guys in the show. So why wouldn't he be the favorite? Anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think Nick's the favorite? Do you think Shaun's gonna be the 4th to 6th range, or do you think Shaun could even win or be top 2? I don't know. Let me know. Anyway, Bodybuilding Anchor out.